The false victory. The crystal spires of New Zephyr gleamed under three suns as Admiral Kex stood before the gathered masses of the Galactic Council. His blue-scaled hands gripped the ceremonial staff, while thousands of alien dignitaries cheered from floating platforms that stretched across the vast ceremonial plaza. Today marked 5 years since the great victory over the human species, and the celebration had lasted for 3 standard days. 5 years ago, Admiral Kex's voice boomed through the translation devices, reaching every corner of the plaza. We ended the greatest threat our galaxy had ever known. The humans, with their primitive technology and barbaric ways, finally knelt before the might of our united forces. The crowd erupted in cheers, tentacles waving, claws clicking in approval, and various alien forms of celebration filling the air. Chancellor Voss, a tall gray-skinned being with large black eyes, stepped forward to present the Medal of Galactic Peace to Admiral Kex. The medal was crafted from rare metals found only in the core worlds, its surface depicting the surrender of Earth's last military commander. "Your strategic brilliance brought peace to our galaxy," Chancellor Voss declared. "The human plague has been contained to their single world, stripped of their warships and reduced to a farming colony under our benevolent supervision." As the ceremony continued, none of the celebrating aliens noticed the subtle energy fluctuations detected by monitoring stations at the edge of human space. Deep in the cosmic background radiation, hidden patterns pulsed with mathematical precision. These weren't random cosmic phenomena, but carefully coded messages traveling at faster than light speeds through quantum entanglement networks that the aliens had never discovered. 3 sectors away from the celebration, Captain Sarah Chen floated in the zero gravity of her command center, watching the alien festivities through intercepted broadcasts. Her brown eyes were hard as steel, and her jaw was set in determination. The scars on her left temple told of battles fought in the shadows, victories and defeats that the galaxy would never know about. She wore the modified uniform of Earth's Navy, but with patches and insignia that no alien database would recognize. "They're still celebrating our defeat," she said to her second-in-command, Lieutenant Commander Jackson Torres. His dark skin bore the same scars of hidden warfare, and his mechanical left arm was a reminder of a battle that officially never happened. "Let them celebrate," Torres replied, checking the holographic displays that showed the positions of 73 human vessels scattered throughout the outer rim. 5 years of preparation is about to pay off. The truth was that Earth had never truly surrendered. When Admiral Kex's forces had overwhelmed the human colonies and forced Earth's government to sign surrender documents, they had only captured the obvious targets. Earth's brightest minds had spent decades preparing for this scenario, creating contingency plans that even their own military didn't fully understand until it was time to implement them. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been one of those minds. Her breakthrough in quantum stealth technology had come just months before the alien invasion began. Instead of mounting a hopeless defense, Earth's leaders had made a calculated decision to appear defeated while secretly deploying assets throughout the galaxy. The aliens thought they had won because they had only seen what humans wanted them to see. "Signal from the Outer Rim stations," reported Communications Officer Liu. "Phase 1 is complete. All supply routes are mapped and ready for interdiction." Captain Chen nodded. For 5 years, her people had been watching, learning, and preparing. They had identified every major alien supply line, every strategic resource depot, and every communication relay. The aliens had grown comfortable in their victory, reducing their military presence and focusing on expanding their territories. They had no idea that human eyes were watching their every move. "Initiate Protocol Lazarus," Chen commanded. Across the galaxy, 67 human vessels simultaneously dropped their stealth fields and began attacking alien supply convoys. The attacks were surgical and precise, designed not to kill but to cripple and confuse. Cargo ships found their engines mysteriously failing. Communication relays went dark without explanation. Strategic resource mines reported equipment malfunctions that would take weeks to repair. On the bridge of his flagship, Admiral Kex was still basking in the afterglow of the ceremony when the first reports began arriving. His communications officer, a spider-like creature with 8 arms, frantically worked multiple control panels as distress signals flooded their networks. "Admiral," the communications officer clicked in their native language. "We're receiving reports of coordinated attacks across 17 sectors. Supply lines are being systematically disrupted." Admiral Kex's 4 eyes narrowed. "Pirates." "Unknown, sir. The attack patterns are too sophisticated for common raiders." "And there's something else." The officer hesitated. "Several ships reported seeing vessels of unknown design before their systems failed. The descriptions match no known alien technology." As the reports continued to pour in, a cold realization began to dawn on Admiral Kex. The attacks weren't random. They were too coordinated, too precise, too well-informed about alien logistics and infrastructure. Only one species in the galaxy had demonstrated this level of tactical sophistication in recent memory. "Get me Chancellor Voss immediately," Admiral Kex ordered, his ceremonial decorations suddenly feeling heavy on his chest. Back on her command ship, Captain Chen watched as the first phase of humanity's return unfolded perfectly. Her people had spent 5 years in exile, scattered across the galaxy like seeds waiting for the right season to grow. Now those seeds were blooming into a force that the aliens had never imagined possible. "Ma'am," Torres reported, "we're receiving confirmation signals from all strike teams. Phase 1 complete with 0 casualties on our side. Alien forces are reporting widespread system failures and supply shortages." "Excellent," Chen replied. "Signal Admiral Webb. Tell him the galaxy is ready to remember that humans don't stay defeated." In the depths of space, beyond the outer rim where even the most advanced alien sensors couldn't reach, Admiral Marcus Webb received Captain Chen's message aboard the flagship of humanity's true military force. The Terran Liberation Fleet consisted of 137 vessels that had been under construction in secret facilities for the past 5 years. These weren't the same ships that had fought the aliens before, but were new designs incorporating everything humans had learned from their defeat. Webb was a veteran of the first human-alien war, a man who had watched his species kneel in surrender while hiding the knife they would use to reclaim their freedom. His gray hair and weathered face told the story of a warrior who had never truly accepted defeat, even when signing surrender documents with his own hand. "Send the signal to all fleet commanders," Webb ordered. "Operation Homecoming begins now." As the message spread through quantum entanglement networks, human vessels throughout the galaxy received their orders. The time for hiding was over. Earth's children were coming home, and they were bringing with them 5 years of preparation, innovation, and accumulated fury. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons, but their refusal to accept defeat as final. The aliens had celebrated their victory for 5 years, growing comfortable in their assumed superiority. They were about to discover that humans had been using those 5 years very differently. In the halls of power throughout the galaxy, emergency sessions were being called as the scope of the human resurgence became clear. What the aliens had thought was a defeated species was revealing itself to be a force that had never truly been conquered. The surrender documents had been signed, but the human spirit had never been broken. Admiral Kex stood before the emergency assembly of the Galactic Council, his ceremonial decorations replaced by battle armor. The celebration was over. The real war was about to begin. The return of Terra. The Emergency Council of the Galactic Alliance convened in the deepest levels of New Zephyr's capital structure, far from the celebration platforms that still bore the decorations of humanity's supposed defeat. Chancellor Voss paced before the assembled representatives of 12 alien species, his normally composed demeanor cracking under the weight of incoming reports. In the past 6 hours, Chancellor Voss announced, his voice echoing in the chamber, "We have lost contact with 47 supply convoys, 16 communication relays, and 3 strategic mining operations. The pattern is clear and coordinated. The humans are not as defeated as we believed. Admiral Kex stood at the tactical display, showing the galaxy-wide map of disrupted operations. Red markers indicated failed systems, forming a pattern too precise to be coincidental. The attacks demonstrate intimate knowledge of our logistics networks, supply schedules, and defensive capabilities. This level of intelligence gathering would require years of preparation. Representative Zara, a crystalline being whose species had provided much of the technology for the original human defeat, spoke with a voice like breaking glass. Impossible. Our monitoring systems have detected no human military presence beyond their home system for 5 years. Their fleet was destroyed. We watched it happen. Then we watched what they wanted us to see, Admiral Kex replied grimly. Analysis of the attack patterns suggests the involvement of at least 60 vessels operating in perfect coordination. These aren't retrofitted civilian ships. These are purpose-built military vessels using technology we don't recognize. As if summoned by their words, the chamber's emergency communication system activated. A three-dimensional hologram appeared in the center of the room, showing the figure of a human male in military uniform. Admiral Marcus Webb's image looked directly at Chancellor Voss, his expression calm but unmistakably threatening. Chancellor Voss, members of the Galactic Council. Webb began, his voice carrying the authority of someone accustomed to being obeyed. I am Admiral Marcus Webb of the Terran Liberation Fleet. 5 years ago, you accepted our surrender and declared victory over humanity. Today, I'm here to inform you that your victory was premature. The alien representatives erupted in shocked chatter, but Webb continued without pause. The document you celebrated was signed by representatives of Earth's civilian government, not its military command. Under the laws of war that you yourselves established, military resistance may continue even after political surrender. We have been exercising that right. Chancellor Voss stepped forward, his black eyes fixed on Webb's image. What do you want, human? Recognition, Webb replied simply. For 5 years, you have treated humanity as a defeated species, suitable only for forced labor and resource extraction. You have strip-mined our colonies, enslaved our people, and treated us as inferiors. That ends now. Admiral Kex activated his own communicator. You are outnumbered 1,000 to 1 human. Your homeworld is under our control. What makes you think you can dictate terms to us? Webb smiled, and it was not a pleasant expression. Because, Admiral Kex, you have never truly fought humans. You fought our first-line forces, our obvious military assets. You have never faced humanity's true strength, which lies not in our weapons but in our refusal to accept defeat. As if on cue, alerts began sounding throughout the chamber. A communications officer rushed to Chancellor Voss with a data pad, his face pale with shock. Sir, we're receiving reports from Proxima Station. They're under attack by unknown vessels. The station's shields are failing. Proxima Station was the crown jewel of the Galactic Alliance's military infrastructure, a massive fortress that guarded the primary trade routes between the core worlds and the Outer Rim. It was considered impregnable, defended by energy shields that could withstand a direct assault from an entire battle fleet. Impossible, Admiral Kex declared. Proxima Station can defend against any known weapons technology. Webb's smile widened. Any known technology is correct, Admiral. Dr. Elena Vasquez, whom you dismissed as a minor human scientist, has had 5 years to refine her work. Her quantum disruption weapons don't attack your shields. They convince your shields that the attacks don't exist. The tactical display updated to show Proxima Station's defensive systems shutting down one by one. The massive fortress, pride of the Galactic Alliance, was being systematically disarmed by weapons that its sensors couldn't even detect. Human vessels appeared on the display as they dropped their stealth fields, revealing themselves to be larger and more advanced than anything the aliens had ever seen from humanity. Captain Sarah Chen's voice joined the communication from her position near Proxima Station. Admiral Webb, this is Operation Homecoming Command. Proxima Station is secure. No alien casualties. All personnel are confined to quarters while we demonstrate our capabilities. Excellent work, Captain, Webb replied. Chancellor Voss, I trust this demonstration makes our position clear. We are not asking for your permission to exist. We are informing you that the current state of affairs is unacceptable and will change. Representative Zara's crystalline form flickered with agitation. You cannot hold Proxima Station indefinitely. Our fleets will respond. Your fleets are currently experiencing system-wide communication failures, Webb informed her. Another gift from Dr. Vasquez's research. For the next 48 hours, your military commanders will be unable to coordinate any response. By the time your communications are restored, the balance of power in this galaxy will have shifted permanently. Admiral Keck studied the tactical displays, his military mind analyzing the scope of what the humans had accomplished. You've been planning this for 5 years. Every human who remained on our worlds, every prisoner we took, every forced laborer we employed. They were all gathering intelligence. Now you begin to understand, Webb acknowledged. Humanity's greatest strength has always been our ability to adapt and overcome. You conquered our obvious military forces, so we built hidden ones. You controlled our governments, so we created new command structures. You thought you had defeated us, but you had only taught us how to fight you more effectively. The chamber fell silent as the implications became clear. For 5 years, the aliens had been confident in their victory, reducing their military presence and focusing on exploitation of human resources. During that same time, humanity had been studying, preparing, and building the means for their return. Chancellor Voss finally spoke, his voice heavy with resignation. What are your terms? Webb's expression softened slightly, showing the first hint of the diplomat beneath the warrior. Immediate cessation of all forced labor programs involving human personnel. Recognition of humanity's right to self-governance within our traditional territories. Establishment of formal diplomatic relations between the Terran Federation and the Galactic Alliance. And most importantly, acknowledgement that any species capable of what we have just demonstrated deserves respect, not subjugation. Admiral Kex asked the question that all the aliens were thinking. And if we refuse? Then you will discover what happens when humanity stops holding back, Webb replied. We have spent 5 years learning your weaknesses, mapping your infrastructure, and preparing for every possible scenario. We prefer diplomacy, but we are prepared for war. The choice is yours. As the human transmission ended, the Galactic Council was left to contemplate a reality they had never imagined. The species they had dismissed as primitive and defeated had spent 5 years proving that human ingenuity, determination, and refusal to accept defeat could overcome any technological advantage. In the depths of space, Captain Chen stood on the bridge of her vessel, watching as Proxima Station's alien crew began to understand that their world had changed forever. Her people had proven that humanity's greatest victory wasn't winning the war, but learning from their defeat and coming back stronger. The galaxy had celebrated humanity's surrender too early. Now they would learn what it meant when humans decided the war wasn't over. The age of alien domination was ending, and the age of human resurgence had begun. Admiral Webb's final message echoed through the chamber. The galaxy is large enough for all of us to thrive. We hope you will choose to remember that cooperation builds civilizations, while conquest only builds resentment. Humanity is offering you a choice today that you did not offer us 5 years ago. Choose wisely. The aliens who had celebrated humanity's defeat now faced a new reality, where humans had proven that some victories are worth waiting for, and some defeats are just the beginning of a longer story.